Those who see everything as shiny and fail to look under the surface are applauding the alleged Iranian nuclear deal struck recently by the Obama administration. They fail to see the little things, such as an Iranian leader who leads all to believe nothing will really change, and the plowing of waters off Yemen by a warship carrying the Iranian flag. So let's dig into these devilish details. We welcome back former CIA analyst Lisa Ruth. Lisa, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Always good to be here.
I was really not surprised, and I'll bet you a lot of people were not either when they heard the news that the Iranians now have a warship off the coast of Yemen because they are just continuing to expand their influence.
Absolutely. And Yemen is such a beautiful example of tactical alliances for short-term strategic gain. It really is. You've got the Houthis who are Shia, but they're not the same kind of Shia as the Iranians, but they're friends with the Iranians now because Iran sees the option of expanding influence. And it's a great opportunity for Iran to get in there and really get some more control.
I don't think the general public understands it when we say not the same kind of Shia, because we're hit with Shias and Sunnis, and we're told that's the real break here. So where's the break in there that we need to pay attention to?
Again, if you look at even Syria, the Alawites, for example, which is what our good friend Assad is, that's comes under the branch of Shia Islam, but it's very different than the kind of Shia in Iran. Now, in Yemen, one of the interesting things, the Shias and the Sunnis have gone to the same mosques for centuries. They pray together. They have been in the same mosque because it's a different offshoot. Digging down deeper, I think it depends on how you want to interpret it at the time, given your goals. And right now, Iran is saying, oh yeah, but they're still Shia. So rather than looking at the differences, it is astounding when you start digging down in the Middle East. You've also got the Saudis, obviously, our friends the Saudis, who are now supporting the other side, the president there, but yet the al-Qaida Sunnis are fighting against the Saudis and the Shias.
It's what you just said, I think, that the general public needs to understand. It's the goals of the individual, because we can break this down into the Shiites and the Sunnis and all these different factions as much as we want, but it changes from any given moment. It changes generationally, daily, if you will, what they want. That then almost immediately changes all of these various ideas.
Absolutely. And another example is Libya, because you've also got tribal affiliations within this. So you've got regional, northern Yemen, southern Yemen. You've got Sunni Shia. You've got the current president, the former president. Former president was previously fighting the Shia. Now the Shias are on the same side. It really does depend on your goals, and I think that's exactly right. I think, the enemy of your enemy sometimes is your enemy. The enemy of your enemy is sometimes your friend. It depends on what you want and who you can ally with.
Welcome to the Middle East.
Yes.
Rouhani, the president of Iran, has called the airstrikes, the Saudi-led airstrikes in Yemen, a mistake. He's using words like genocide. From a military standpoint and from a structural standpoint looking at it, are they a mistake?
It is, again, right now, frankly, if I was looking at it purely without the ideology, the people who are benefiting the most from the airstrikes and the fighting, I'm sorry to say, is al-Qaida and ISIS. That is absolutely the case. On the other hand, if you're looking at what the Saudis are trying to do, you've got the Houthis in there taking control. That is not a good option. So is it a mistake? Again, it depends on who you are and what you want. If you want the Houthis out, it's probably a good idea. If you're looking for a regional solution, which is, I think, what would be a great thing, rather than having Westerners come in, try to get a regional solution, it's a good thing. But in terms of the chaos we're creating, I think we need to be a little bit beware.
Should we be shocked at all when the Ayatollah Khamenei comes out and tweet storms it's too early to celebrate about the Iranian deal? Or is he just playing politics like anybody else?
Both. I think he is playing politics, just as the Obama administration is playing politics, and choosing to talk about things. He has to appease the hardliners. The hardliners in Iran are certainly still a big force. He has to come out that way, but it really also does raise questions. It's almost like the Iranians and the Americans are talking about two different deals. I don't know if they signed two different things at two different tables, but there are big differences in what they're talking about.
Final shot. I got about 30 seconds left here. Republican Senator Tom Cotton has come out and said bombing Iran is no big deal.
I saw that as well, and frankly, it's very difficult for me not to get annoyed at this, because I think that is incredibly naive. I think that at the point when you wanted to bomb anyone, we've got big problems, and I think that any escalation of violence in the Middle East right now would be a huge problem.
We're kind of past that whole T-shirt slogan, aren't we? Kill them all, let God sort them out. We're really past that. You can't do that anymore. It doesn't work.
It does not, and there are strategic interests, and we can talk about another time. But Yemen, even who heard of Yemen, but now they do control a strait where most of the oil tankers go through.
There you go, bringing some sense to it all, Lisa. Always a pleasure. Good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Thanks for joining us. All right, a car that is crash-proof generally meant it was sitting in the garage for the last 20 years, but now it seems that a crash-proof car may be making its way onto the roads. You know you want one, right? You'll hear more about it. Lauren Fix is here on MidPoint.